This woman who is now dead, sadly, she leaves a child and a wife, and it shouldn't have happened. I have a right to comment on this more than 99.9% of all of you. So listen to what I'm saying here. Why? Because I am the protester. You understand this? For 35 years, this is what I've been doing. Thousands of protests, dozens upon dozens of arrests. And the reason I am still here, or I don't have stitches from a billy club, or I don't have marks from a taser, is right here in this image. Every single time that I have been arrested, you will notice my hands I place behind my back as I am told when I get arrested. I do not resist, I do not spit, I do not curse, I do not struggle, I do not fight or be aggressive towards the authorities who are there to arrest me, because when we protest, we step over a line that is there, and that line happens to be called the law. And thank God in this country, we can step over that line sometimes, but we have to understand that we are now in a different zone, because that cop over there, I think his kids got leukemia. That cop over there, I know, was in a bank robbery last night with the thugs, and he got shot at, and he's back out in the street, but he's all high tension. And that guy over there, that cop, I know his wife is mailman, so I'm in the high tension area. And these have guns, batons, and tasers. We have a system in this country, it's called the court and law. And whether I'm wrong or right in this situation, officer, I didn't do anything wrong. Put your hands behind your back. Yes, sir. And I will take that up with the judge and prove my innocence. I do not bring the courtroom right there at that high tension moment. Do you get what I'm saying, people? So, this woman would still be alive. I don't think she was the kind of woman that would have done what she did, which was resist and be aggressive towards the authorities, as you see in the video, and you can all fight about that. But let's get to the base here. The base is the wife is probably looking to sue Trump or the police or the ICE or this or the time. She needs to look at the Democrat, liberal politicians, community activists, and the douchebag and self-loathing, divisive cocksuckers in the liberal media that tell her and those like her to resist arrest and be aggressively violent towards any authority.
His arguments are well put. The cussing aside, he's right on point. And I've said this many times, that one of our problems is that people are not thinking rationally. And this is a good example of rational thinking about how to express yourself when you disagree with something. You don't have to violate the law to express yourself. And the Democrats are committing a very serious crime, and they could be contributing to a very serious population conflict by constantly encouraging people to violate the law, because a lot of these people out there are mentally unstable to begin with. You don't need to tell them too much to get them to do something crazy, but they don't understand the danger involved, not only in for their life, but in the danger of causing civil unrest and civil war, possibly, because it's only so long that righteous or good people are going to stand for people coming up to them and trying to violate them. You know, we have a right. There's a law also in our country to protect yourself, to defend yourself. So crazy people can't just walk upon you and act crazy and expect they're going to get away with that all the time. I mean, there's kindness and mercy only goes so far. There's a biblical precedent and biblical mandate for defending yourself. So God is not cool with justifying the wicked, and he's not cool with condemning the righteous. So having the wisdom and doing things the right way is very important. We got to get this to these people before all hell breaks loose in our nation.
And I just want to add something to that. I believe that, of course, this is what the Democrat Party wants. They absolutely want somebody, and I hate to say this, they want a Renee Good, they want a Keith Porter, they want this so they can have a reason to say, see, he caused this. They want to blame Trump for it. But it's not his fault. He's really trying to enact the law. I mean, other presidents went around in sanctuary cities like Obama and others and arrested illegals. I did a video last night during my live stream. A CNN reporter with the ICE agents under Obama and went around during the ICE arrest. They were compliant. There was no chaos. They went along with it. But when Trump does, now is the problem. Oh, now is the problem. And they want to label him a dictator and an evil person. And it is my opinion that they are looking for the next George Floyd 2.0. That's what they want. That's just my opinion now. But I do believe that is their hope so that they can use that for political leverage.
And they may fabricate one. They may fabricate it.
They may fabricate it, but they really are encouraging people to do the unthinkable. And like you said, Minister Danzel, some people are not quite wrapped tight to begin with. So all they need is an excuse to just go out there and do something crazy. And these people that are out here are parents. Like, common sense at some point should like click in, like, you know what? I don't think I'm just going to go out there and put my body and life on the line. I have a family. At some point, you think common sense would kick in, because think about it. What could happen to you? These people have weapons. Okay, let's just think clearly. But see, I believe that's what the Democrats want. And they call for it. If you listen to them, they are calling for it, calling President Trump, his regime or his administration, a Gestapo administration. Listen to the verbiage that they're saying.
Linda, I appreciate that. I do, because I wish, if you look at the liberals and the individuals that are quick to riot, the individuals that are quick to get upset, if we had the buy-in, the blind buy-in for faith, then this would be a completely different country. But if it ain't broke, why fix it? This is something that the liberals have been doing for the past few decades. Let's not talk about policy. Let's not even talk about results. Let's just be upset. Let's be mad about something. We saw a fraud that was plain as day put in front of individuals, and liberals don't want that. So let's take the only thing that we can possibly use to get people upset about. And I've learned something, and Crystal hopefully will back me up on this because she's seen this many times. Liberals cannot argue policy. Liberals cannot debate. As soon as you get deeper into the actual issue at hand, they get upset, they start calling you names, they cry, and of course, they wind up rioting. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. I'm not as plugged into a lot of pop culture as you all are, but I see a lot of liberals. Sorry, this is on Crystal's Facebook page. I see a lot of liberals who will hurt themselves defending this, and they'll try to say, well, no one was hit by a car, ignoring the fact that they were there and they were disrupting the actual activity of law enforcement officials. They'll say, well, she was so innocent. She was just, what was it? Poetry, I think, is the excuse that people use for her. I don't personally go out to a combat zone to get poetry ideas, but to each their own. My concern is that because we have a large group of the American populace that have been told in one hand, you are so smart, you are so gifted, you are so special, they're the ones that are going out and they're screaming at the ones who are trying to say, it's not that we dislike you, it's not that we hate you. We actually want the best for you, but we have to every once in a while choose the hard right over the easy wrong. If there's crimes that are being committed, liberals want you to turn the other way. They don't want you to pay attention to them unless they're crimes that go against their actual agenda. And outside of the gentleman up here who was talking, he was 100% correct. By the way, cursing doesn't make you cool, but he does make a good point. If we don't respect the laws in this country, what's going to be the next chapter for the United States of America?
Absolutely.
I 100% agree with all of you. The thing is, while working for those organizations, I remember them saying, because we would have to go out and protest. I didn't go out and protest. Y'all remember, for those who don't know, I used to work for the left. I used to work for liberal organizations. Every morning we had to start off talking about pronouns. I refused to, but whatever. Wow. I remember they have a fund for you if you get arrested. They told you if you get arrested, we had attorneys on payroll so that just in case anything, you can get yourself out of jail. The thing is, you're so emotionally revved up before you go out there. A lot of people are ready to go to war. And this was back in 2020 that I was doing this. Now let's talk about 2026, where the language is way worse than what it was in 2020. It was way worse. And so the thing is, as a mother, I never went out to do those protests because I am a mother. I was like, I'm not going to jail. I have children. I'm not going to jail. I'm not getting in trouble. I have children. That is the forefront of my mind. So when people talk about this woman, and AT's right, because he saw it on my Facebook page where people are defending, and I'm like, but she was never supposed to be there. You heard, I don't know how many different ways you heard that car hit the officer. Now they've come out, the officer had internal bleeding. So right there and then, you can't say this is made up. This man was hit. This woman hit this man on purpose, because these people are not thinking rationally. AZ's very right. We've been on on panels, and the liberals come up, and you're trying to talk policy, and they're calling you everything under the book because they're so emotional. You're like, okay, well, what policy do you like? And they're calling you shut up, coon, and all these other things. You're just like, oh my goodness. Can you just give me a policy? Why are we calling each other names? This is not what it's supposed to be. So because they're moving in a space of emotions and not not in a space of truth, not in a space of faith and facts, they're just moving in their little trends and their feelings and everything like that. And especially in this moment, I really feel like the Democrats are pushing for allegedly, because in her mind, I'm never supposed to be hurt.
Yep.
I am never supposed to be heard. I'm a commodity. I am a white liberal woman, and y'all are supposed to respect me and love me, and I can drop fake tears whenever I want to, and y'all are supposed to understand. Now, if a Black person got killed, then they would have been celebrating, because then that means they would have had the race riots they needed to have. But in this time, Black people are like, hold on, this ain't our fight. I mean, there are some that are going out there, but a lot of them like, this ain't our fight. We ain't out there. That's for y'all to do. So I agree, they're really trying to get a George Floyd, because you have the mayor that is inciting this. You have the governor that's inciting this. You have Ilhan acting like she's out there telling them to stand against it, because we have her on video saying they're coming in to attack our communities. All of these things. You have the leadership that are lawless. You have lawless leadership, so you're going to have lawless people. And that's what you're seeing happening right now.
Crystal, all of you guys are absolutely right. There are organizations that are training people. They're training people, and they're actually using liberal white women essentially as like kamikaze pilots, because they assume, as Paul Mooney would say, that these women have the complexion for the protection. So they assume that they can go in there and be hostile towards law enforcement. They can go in there, and maybe box them in and do things, because they feel that liberal white women, again, I got to say it, they have the complexion for the protection, and that no one will do anything to them. And it rocked their world. What happened last week? It rocked their world, and they didn't really understand. Like, wait, they did that to a white woman? Really? They were shocked. They were surprised, and it just goes against what they've been teaching these people. So I want to hear your thoughts, but it's crazy that they're teaching and training these tactics, because believe it, these are tactics.
So I think we got to take a little bit of a step back from the event. We pretty much have all seen the video, and we know sort of the characteristics of the event, but we need to see this in a larger context. We need to view this from the way the Democrats and liberals are viewing this. Per the instructions of Rahm Emanuel, never let a crisis go to waste. So this is what it looks like when you are losing. When you are losing, and this is what's letting me know the Democrats do not believe that they're going to be able to stuff enough ballots, or they're going to be able to get enough legal, legitimate votes that they're going to win, because they are now acting out of desperation. And it is not lost on me that this woman was trained at her son's school, when the school was giving advice about how parents should protect their students or deal with their students who may have to deal with ICE. And then a group formed, in which this woman joined, which became this so-called, quote, protest group, which to me seems like it was really a political resistance group. I assume that that's not the only school that's doing it. I assume Minnesota's not the only place that's doing it. And as a result of this, now you have Governor Tim Walz coming up and openly saying, we've never been at war with our government. These are very dangerous words. And the reason I do, agree with you, Wise and Crystal, about the complexion for the protection, but even beyond that, I think the reason they're using white women is because mostly that's all that's left over there. Their whole coalition is white and Black liberal women, and the LGBT and a few remaining men. And the most masculine of the group is the women. So of course they would bring them out because those are the only ones over there that got any gumption to get up and do it. And I think and I said this before, Wise, I think it is diabolical to gin these women up and to rev them up into such an emotional state that they have created these liberal kamikazes who are willing to leave their children and family behind. They keep saying she is a wife and a mother. I don't get the sense that she cared that she was a wife and a mother. Something at some point should have said, I need to live for something beyond me. I've got to order my steps and control my behavior because there are people, small people who are depending upon me. She seemed to throw all of that to the wind, all of that caution to, maybe it was naivete. Maybe she thought, well, nobody's going to do anything to me. I mean, she was sort of laughing and giggling as this whole thing was happening. So I don't think she understood the seriousness of what she was doing. I don't think the school which provided her this training at all did what the gentleman in the video did, which is to really tell people that if you want to protest, this is how you protest and come back home safely. I don't think they gave her any of that instructions because I don't think they want civil disobedience. I think they want the exact opposite of civil disobedience, because I think that somewhere in the liberal leadership, they have decided that if we can't win, then we will destroy. And what they look hell-bent on doing is trying to destroy. And I don't think they're trying to destroy Minnesota. They're trying to destroy all of it and use Minnesota as the template for how to do it.
I wanted to say that they have shot themselves in the butt, the back, the head, the nose, my eyes. They've destroyed themselves so much with their policies that all they have left now is to do this dirty stuff. This is the way they have to respond. They're desperate. They know that they've lost, and they've lost by their own actions. So now, and then when a desperate person gets desperate, they'll do just about anything to survive. So that's what we're seeing now. You see the Keith Porter Jr. that got shot by an off-duty ICE agent. They tried to make that the new call for black people to get black people stirred up, but the truth came out too quick.
Yeah.
So we have to be on guard. We have to make sure we stay on guard. And whenever they come out with these stories, we have to make sure we counter them real quickly so that we don't give the people a chance to stir it up, to get people stirred up with the lies.
I want to add to what Celeste was saying, because you said it a couple times. I think it's the root of the issue. They don't understand. They simply don't understand. If you spend your entire day attached to media that will tell you ICE is bad, the police are bad, they're out to get you, you have to stand up, I don't expect you to understand the consequences of going out and actually checking one of these individuals who are in uniform. And then when it does happen, when something that is obvious to anybody who has ever worn a uniform, worked in law enforcement, or actually read anything besides liberal media, when the obvious actually happens and you lose your life or get injured by the individuals who are trying to protect and serve, well, then it goes against your worldview. You're shocked. I can't believe this has happened to me. And I know we're talking about Proverbs today, so why not? You who are without understanding, gain it, right? Because you're a fool at the end of the day. It's by definition, you're a fool. And the problem is, to Celeste's point, when this comes toppling down, if that's the direction that it goes, what do you think is going to happen? These people that you run for so heavily in the streets, the people on the left, they don't care about you. They're not going to come help you. They're not going to bail you out of the situation that they got you in the first place. It is about the money for them. It's about the position. It's about the power. And at that point in time, you'll be looking around wondering who's going to come save us. And because you've ignored Jesus Christ your entire life, you will never find the answer to that. That is the concern that I have. Give me someone who's violent, fine. Give me someone who has evil motives, fine. But ignorance and foolishness is extremely dangerous. And unfortunately, it's in the hands of the individuals who will wind up destroying this country.
I want to hear from you guys, man. What are your thoughts on all of this? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Appreciate you guys, man. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, He gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. In the Lord hit my chest, kick death from my breath, put power in my step.